What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about silver potentially one day skyrocketing. Two huge factors to take into consideration to support that it may skyrocket, along with an argument to support why it might not skyrocket. But really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for daily videos. Also subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive weekly content. Brand new video over there. Go check it out. The link will be in the description. Trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, and we're getting pretty close. And if you want to help support the channel by getting some DYDSS merchandise, of course we have some precious metal themed t-shirts and hoodies which are up for grabs, along with a ton of other products, t-shirts, hoodies, even stickers, many of which are raising funds and awareness for different charity organizations. Any and all merchandise can be found by clicking the first link in the description section down below. Thank you in advance. It's more than appreciated. But today I want to talk about silver potentially one day skyrocketing. And no, I am not going to be one of those weird YouTube guys that post 3 videos a day about,
oh, silver's gonna hit $1,000 on Friday.
I'm not going to be one of those guys. I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it genuine. I'm going to keep it authentic. I'm going to keep it honest. And I'm also going to share some of my opinions. So sitting here in front of me, I have not a whole lot of silver. I have a handful. I got a couple bars of silver over here on the right side. We got a 10-ounce sunshine bar, a 5-ounce sunshine bar on top of that, the Australian $1 coin bar, and then the American flag bar on top. Got some miscellaneous coins and rounds over here. Got a bunch of 90% silver, and then of course at the bottom, an eagle, a maple, and a kangaroo. Now, I do not have any of this silver displayed for any particular reason. Just because I'm talking about silver, I wanted to have some silver out in front of me. So I want to talk about the spot price right now, because as I'm recording the video, it's in the $17.50 range, $17.50, give or take, somewhere between 17 and 18 bucks right now. Silver has been somewhat kind of sort of making a recovery over what happened about 3 months ago when it got pretty much smacked down to the ground. It's been climbing its way back up, and it's standing strong, and it's holding its own. But I want to talk about the spot price in the future. Unfortunately, I'm not a psychic, I'm not a precious metal expert or professional, so I can't sit here and tell you what silver is going to do with the utmost conviction. I can't tell you that silver is going to be any specific price by any specific date. If anyone is telling you that, including people in their YouTube videos, they are either lying to you or they're just trying to get you to click on their videos. No one knows for sure, but here's the thing. There's a couple different factors that you got to take into consideration. There's an entire list of factors that you got to take into consideration when you're sitting back and evaluating the possibilities of silver, the possibilities of precious metals, and what they can do one day in the future, potentially. I'm going to be covering 2 of these factors in today's video because unfortunately this is a video, not a movie. If I wanted to go through the entire list of things to take into consideration, that would probably be a 4-hour-long video. So I'm going to try to keep it concise. I'm going to try to keep this under 20 minutes, and here we go. So the first thing that I want to talk about when it comes to the spot price of silver, and one of the factors that play a role in determining whether it goes up, whether it goes down, is the advancement in different industries. For those of you who do not know, silver is a very versatile metal, and it's not just a precious metal, it's an industrial metal. Silver is very, very important. Silver is very, very useful. Silver is very, very needed and desired, and it's all over the place. All different industries. For those of you who are unaware, silver is obviously involved in silverware. It's involved in jewelry, photography, medicine, electronics, cars. It's a fantastic conductor of both heat and electricity. It's used in solar panels, and with the direction that the world is moving in right now, solar panels specifically, I would assume, a lot of people would assume, a lot of articles that I've read, a lot of videos that I've watched, a lot of analysis that I've listened to and looked into have said, due to solar panels becoming more and more popular, that can actually play a role in silver becoming more and more and more in demand. Now, I don't have all the specifics in front of me. It's just one example that I wanted to give. And when it comes to electronics, when it comes to medicine, when it comes to all of these other areas, all of these other fields and industries and companies and products, and as we advance and move further and further and further into the digital age, I would assume that silver is going to become more and more used, more and more required, and become more and more in demand for all of these products, for all of these advancements, for all of this everything in all of these different industries. So that's one factor that you might want to take into consideration. And like I said, it's not just the things that I listed. There's an entire other or an extended version of the list. I was just giving a couple quick little examples. But with us moving forward in all of these industries, with us advancing in technology, for those of you who also are unaware, silver is needed in ventilators. Breathing machines at the hospital, silver is needed in that. If you have an electrical socket in your house, silver is used for that as well. I already said it's a fantastic conductor of both heat and electricity. It's in a lot of different electronics. It's in a lot of different cars, vehicles, trucks. You name it, silver is there. Silver is a very versatile metal, and it's used all over the place. And with us moving forward and advancing, I could assume that the spot price of silver could go up due to the fact that it's just needed more and more and more and more silver. That's just one example I wanted to give. Now moving forward into the second example, a more relevant example, something that's on a lot more people's minds at this very specific time, and that would be inflation. Everything going on in the world right now. If you have not been living under a rock, you'll probably know that planet Earth shut down about 3 months ago. The whole world stopped moving. About 3 months ago, we're like 90 days deep in this 14-day quarantine that they told us about. We're over 90 days deep right now, and if you look at the state of the economy, even though one could argue that nothing is necessarily fundamentally wrong with the economy, up until about 3 months ago, everything was going very, very well. Employment was up. Unemployment was down, big, large corporations were thriving, small businesses were standing their ground and succeeding and flourishing as well, and everything has been going relatively good. And then, what happened in March, the middle of March? A sickness happened and took out the economy and basically smacked every human being on the planet in the face. And if you look at the numbers now, if you look at the statistics, over 40 million unemployment claims, and that's just the US. That's just us. That's just here in America. 40 million. Try to fathom that number. 40 million of anything is an astronomically high number. And with all of the paper, fiat, glorified IOU dollars being printed out of thin air, don't ask me where they're coming from. Just snap your fingers and more dollars appear. I wish I had that power. But with all of this currency being printed out, all of this fiat just being created, because at the end of the day, this is just a man-made invention. This is just a glorified IOU. What does it mean? What does it do? Where does it come from? What is it? That's not a rhetorical question. I'm actually asking. What is the dollar bill? I still, to this day, I don't understand what the dollar bill even is, or how it works, or why it works, the way that it works. But with them printing more and more and more and more currency, more and more fiat, if you look at history, many, many times in the past, due to hyperinflation, and it's not just the US, I'm talking about any other country's fiat currency anywhere. It's not necessarily stable. It's not necessarily consistent. It's on very shaky grounds, and typically, the more that gets printed, the weaker it becomes. And historically speaking, not every single time, but typically, what happens when fiat becomes weaker? Money becomes stronger. Money referring to silver and also gold. So as the dollar bill gets hammered further and further down into the ground, I've been saying it for over 2 years at this point, it seems like the dollar bill is kind of on its last leg, and it's really not looking all that great for the dollar bill. Do I think it's going to collapse entirely? Do I think it's going to crumble fully? I don't know. Not necessarily, I don't think that. Maybe one day, but I don't think this, what we're currently going through right now at this very specific point in time, is going to necessarily finish off the dollar bill. But I do know, or could assume, that the dollar bill is going to become weaker. Hyperinflation. More of these things are being printed out of nowhere. So that could be an indicator that silver spot price is gonna go up. This has happened before. And if it's happened before, it could very well happen again. So if you take the two factors that I just gave as two different examples, hyperinflation meshed with advancing in all of these different fields and industries and technology and solar and all that going on, if you put those two things together, one would assume that the spot price of silver is going to go up. Now, do I think it's going to necessarily skyrocket per se? I would say no, because when I think of the word skyrocket, I think of the value rapidly increasing in a very short period of time, hitting $20 and $25, $30, $35, $40, $50, maybe even $60, $70. Who knows? I'm just using arbitrary numbers right now, but surpassing all of those benchmarks, all of those numbers in a very short period of time. That's what I would assume skyrocketing looks like. I don't foresee that happening, but then again, I'm not a fortune teller. I don't have a crystal ball. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, and trust me, I'll be wrong again in the future. But I don't necessarily see that happening. What I expect silver to do, what I believe, what I truly, genuinely, wholeheartedly, honestly believe is going to happen is the spot price is going to increase gradually over time. I think we're going to see a slow but sure upward trajectory of the spot price of silver. Potentially gold as well. As I always say, in my opinion and from my perspective, not a financial advisor, nothing on this channel is financial advice, but the way I see it, silver is the opportunity metal. That's what I've always called it because I believe it has the most room to grow and perform over time. Silver has already been $30, $40, $50 in the past. We already know it's possible. We already know what silver is capable of. You couldn't say that it's not a possibility. We already know it's a possibility. It's already happened. And all silver would have to do is double in value just to hit that near $40 mark. Gold, on the other hand, I consider the powerhouse metal, the ultimate form of wealth preservation. But is it possible or likely for gold to double in value? I don't know. Hasn't happened yet. Well, it's happened, but it hasn't been twice as high where it currently is. Gold would have to get pretty close to $4,000 an ounce. It's definitely a possibility, but we cannot say with the utmost conviction that it's going to happen or it's probably or likely going to happen because we do not know for sure. Historically speaking, we can't say that it's going to happen. It hasn't yet, but anything is possible. So, got to be kind of careful when it comes to saying certain things because we can't make any conclusive statements. Anything is possible, though. Now, an argument that I would like to make. I know I spent the last 14 minutes talking about how silver could go up in value and how I believe it's going to, but we have to take a look at the other side. We have to take a look at what other people are saying. A lot of people are sitting here saying,
Oh, silver's gonna skyrocket, silver's gonna go up in value, silver's gonna go to $1,000.
a lot of people are saying a lot of different things. But there's also people out there who are pointing out and suggesting that silver may or may not be very, very manipulated and suppressed and held down, tied down, shackled. So, for the sake of the argument, hyperinflation could happen. The dollar bill could become weaker and weaker and weaker. All of these industries can continue to advance. the medical industry, the solar industry, the car industry, all these other industries can continue to advance and continue to use and require and need silver for more and more and more products and technology. But if the spot price is manipulated, that doesn't necessarily mean that those two factors are going to inherently lead to silver going all the way to the moon. So unfortunately, it's, no pun intended, but flip a coin, heads or tails, with what's going to happen. Is it going to be held down, or is it going to skyrocket? Or somewhere in the middle. Maybe it's going to hold its value and slowly but surely become stronger and stronger over an extended period of time. If you ask me, I genuinely believe that's probably going to be the case. Now, like I said, I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing on this channel is financial advice. It's all for entertainment purposes and to initiate a conversation. So number one, I'm curious, what are your thoughts? Head on down to the comments and let me know. But also, in addition to not being a financial advisor, I'm also not an economist. This is not what I specialize in. It's all speculation. I'm not an epidemiologist. I can't tell you whether or not this global health crisis is going to play a role in currency and money, and one goes up, one goes down. I couldn't tell you. Unfortunately, I cannot make any conclusive statements. Number one, because I'm not allowed to, and number two, I'm not qualified to, and number three, I don't even know what the answer could possibly be either. It's all up in the air at this point, unfortunately, but it makes for a good conversation. It's something to think about, it's something to talk about. Like I said, I'm curious, what are your thoughts? What do you think is the most likely outcome for the spot price of silver? Do you think silver is going to continue going up in value? Do you think silver is going to become stronger and stronger? Do you think the dollar bill is going to become weaker? Do you think the dollar bill is going to crumble and collapse entirely? What are your thoughts? And in addition to all of the factors, or the two factors, I should say, but the miniature list inside one of the factors, talking about some of the different industries, I brought up how silver is needed in medicine, electronics, silverware, jewelry, photography. I said how it's a fantastic conductor of both heat and electricity. I talked about how it's needed in solar panels. Off the top of my head, those are just some of the best examples I can give, but if you can think of anything else that I didn't necessarily share, I talked about hospital ventilators. If you can think of any other products, any other industries, any other fields where silver is very, very important, head on down to the comments and let me know. And if you can think of any other factors that I did not necessarily list in today's video, if you have any arguments, if you have any counter arguments, if you would like to add on and build onto some of the examples that I provided in this video, head on down to the comments. Any and all thoughts are welcome. Keep it constructive. That's all I'll say. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button. If you guys like me, make sure to subscribe. New videos every single day, 365 days a year. Also subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive weekly content. Just posted a brand new video. Go check it out. The link will be in the description. Trying really hard to hit 1,000 subscribers, and we're getting pretty close, so help us out. And if you want to help support the channel in the biggest possible way, please consider getting yourself some DYDSS merchandise. Of course, we have some precious metal themed t-shirts and hoodies which are up for grabs, such as the DYDSS 3/9s, 4/9s, and 90% t-shirts and hoodies available in black, white, gray, red, blue, and pink. Also have a ton of other products that are up for grabs, t-shirts, hoodies, even stickers, many of which are raising funds and awareness for different charity organizations, such as the DYDSS Military Tee, available in 4 different colors, and it's helping us raise funds and awareness for Military PTSD Inc., a nonprofit actively working to help improve the lives of our veterans. Any and all merchandise can be found by clicking the first link in the description section down below. Thank you in advance. It's more than appreciated. And once again, please head on down to the comments and let me know any and all thoughts regarding today's video topic. Silver potentially skyrocketing. Do you think silver is going to skyrocket? Do you think it's going to rapidly increase in value due to any particular factors or circumstances? Do you think rather than skyrocketing, it's just going to have a slow but sure upward trajectory? Do you think it's going to slowly but surely become stronger and increase in value? That's kind of where I stand. Or do you think silver is going to continue to be held down and suppressed and manipulated, and regardless of what goes on in the world, regardless of what goes on economically, silver is going to be held down? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow, and remember, don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.